Hi there guys. What I've decided to do is do a reading with regards to trauma. So I hope that you're okay. I'll give you a trigger warning from now with regards to the reading and what the reading is going to be bringing for you guys. The reason I want to do this type of reading is because of my friend and myself, if I'm honest with you. I've suffered with agoraphobia and found it difficult in social situations for a long time now via trauma. So what I figured was it could be a really nice way to help other people come out of their trauma by facing these things, because I've used a lot of techniques myself to be able to come out of the trauma that I've actually suffered. So I felt like it was a nice idea to be able to help you guys with regards to your own trauma, and that trauma could be in the form of relationships. It could be the mother wound. It could be any sort of trauma that you've gone through, to tell you the truth. Regardless, this reading should be able to help you to persevere through. This is like a safe community for people to be able to do shadow work and encourage each other to be able to heal ourselves and those around us as well. So I want everybody in the comment section to be able to support each other and give words of encouragement, if any words of encouragement come to you, to give to other fellow members of this community group that I'm actually establishing over time. I want to be able to help you guys to be able to attune with the energy. So what I'm going to do is use my shamanic drum. So I want you to close your eyes, and whilst you've closed your eyes, I want you to ask your higher minded guides and ancestors to come around you so you're able to receive the guidance that you actually need. So whilst you've got your eyes closed, I want you to just calm yourself and allow me to do the shamanic drumming. And we'll set off now. So now I want you guys to open your eyes and have a look at the orange pen, the yellow Sharpie, or the green Sharpie. Ask your higher minded guides which card you should be looking at. Pile 1, pile 2, or pile 3. And then I will proceed forward, okay? So pile 1s, you guys would have picked the orange Sharpie. Now this is basically speaking about your expression, your creativity, the sexual chakra of the sacral chakra, with the orange coming up, okay? So you may have been affected with traumas that have affected how you express yourself, okay? So let's see how trauma affects your life. Trauma affects your life by you feeling sometimes like people betray you a lot. You may also find that you have like a lower minded ancestor. If it's not an ancestor, it could be somebody who you've exchanged an electromagnetic field with. So this could be a person who you've exchanged a relationship with, at some point, and this person would have betrayed you in some way, shape or form. Not only that, you probably get quite a few betraying thoughts yourself every now and again that tend to hold you back. But regardless, betrayal is definitely something that has affected your life dramatically. Pile ones. How does the trauma affect their life? So you may be also a little bit paranoid of people. Pile number ones, you may be paranoid of people. You may feel like people have hidden agendas all of the time because of the trauma that you've been through. You may also feel like people have a slyness about them. At the same time, you may feel like your own identity is never received properly via people. You may find that your emotions get the better of you as well, and it may have emotionally disbalanced you, some of the trauma that you guys have been through. Most definitely. Pile ones. How does the trauma affect their life? How does the trauma affect pile one's life? How does the trauma affect their lives? Yes, psychologically. A lot of this is mental health. How does trauma affect pile one's life? How does trauma affect pile one's life? How does trauma affect their life? Yeah, so basically you find it difficult to move forward onto things that you want to move forward on. You find psychologically that you feel trapped and bound sometimes. You sometimes can't preempt what's going to happen in the future. You probably feel like you get rejection from family members. Could be a mother who you feel rejection from, but at the same time this could be love relationships that you feel a rejection from, and you might feel the support from your mum. At the same time, this could be a father wound of feeling rejected by your father at some point in your life, or a father passing away. It could be either or either, but the trauma is affecting your life mentally, and it's affecting your intuition from being able to give you downloads that you actually need to get, because you don't know your full identity yet. That's what this is basically saying. Yeah, you're not fully attuned to your identity yet, and you're finding yourself, but you're finding that people misinterpret what you're meaning or who you are or what you're trying to communicate to other people. Another way it affects your life is that you don't follow your intuitive guidance that would help you to be successful in your life. You find it difficult to go and act on these things, or sometimes if you do act on them, you may find that you're a little bit emotionally disbalanced when you're dealing with things that trigger you. So you stop your own greatness basically because of the thoughts and the social constructs that you've been brought up around that could be parental. If it's not parental, it could be your peers, it could be your cousins, it could be aunties, it could be people around you. It's people in your life that have all had this type of identity crisis themselves. So that's how trauma affects your life. You may find you're also coming around other people that don't fully know their own identity, which makes you quite suspicious of them. Okay, so that's how it could be affecting your life as well. So what do pile ones carry from the trauma? What sort of emotions do they carry? What sort of emotions do they carry from the trauma, my pile ones? What do they carry from the trauma? What do they carry from the trauma? What do they carry from the trauma? Right, so what you're carrying from this trauma, wow, is a suspicion of friends. A suspicion, and not only a suspicion, you've probably been betrayed quite a few times. This will elicit your trauma, and it also makes you feel like you'll probably find it difficult to make friends with people, if I'm honest with you. The reason why, because a part of yourself died when you went through the trauma that you went through. Not meaning that you went through a physical death, it's more like a spiritual, a mental type of death, if that makes sense. So basically it's like a trauma thing. When you go through something, in that moment of you going through the trauma, something inside of your mind feels like it's got to grow up and it's got to handle and sustain the situation that you go through, no matter what that trauma is. And as that happens, a part of your younger self goes away. It almost compartmentalizes. And when that happens, you lose a little bit of your true identity, your true self. So the emotions that you carry forward is finding it difficult to trust friends and people around you and open up your heart to people. And you probably find it difficult to celebrate things sometimes as well. Another thing is that your mind may constantly be on one in needing to, meaning fast, momentous thoughts, ideas, things to help you to be put on a platform where people respect you because you felt like you didn't get it at home in some way, shape or form. You feel like you need to be abundant to show the people around you, the family around you, or people that have put you in three-party situations or past relationships. You feel like you have to be determined to show them that you have a higher force guiding you in life and you will be successful. So it may have affected you with needing to be determined and needing to be fast acting in your proactivity of your healing in your life, basically. So sometimes you may feel like you're trying to move fast to do certain things, but you need to slow down. This is basically saying, oh, bless you. Okay, so that's the emotions. This is what you've brought with you, basically. No, this is what the trauma has helped you to carry forward that has created a cyclic pattern in your life. Okay, so how does this affect their relationship with other people? How does this affect pile one's relationship with other people? How does this affect their relationship with other people? How does this affect pile one's relationship with other people? Right, so it affects your relationships with other people because you're always preempting failure and chaos. This is the failure and chaos that you may have been through in the past, darlings, but you're carrying it forward into the future with you. That's what this is basically saying. Okay? Wow, it's making my throat go weird. Right? It affects your relationship because you continuously go through change. You may have self-destructive tendencies. These self-destructive tendencies may have you feeling a little bit bound to the past or the trauma that you actually went through. You may find it very, very, very difficult to be able to go into change. So if there's any form of change that affects your peace of mind, you may find yourself getting truly worried, and this is when this energy comes around you. So if you've had any trauma via somebody's hands, via somebody doing these things to you or harming you or hurting you, even if this is spiritually, you're still tied. As you can see, if you look, you see how this person is bound. You see those ties? These ties are electromagnetic fields. They're vibrations that are tied to your mind that stop you being able to preempt change and welcome change. It actually disrupts your peace, right? Which stops you from being able to reclaim who you actually are, to liberate yourself. Slow and easy does it though, most definitely, but you will find that you want to go slow with people in friendships, relationships, no matter what it is. You may be finding yourself wanting to go slow all of the time just because of this type of energy that comes around you. And this is how it affects your relationships with other people. Other people may find that you have some sort of egoic tendencies sometimes as well. Okay? Another way it affects your life is the fact that it makes you indecisive. And it stops you living out your life's true potential. It also stops you from being able to move forward in your life in a way that would liberate you. It stops you from being able to surf your emotions. It also stops you from being able to think about the future too much because you may be too busy trying to be in the now where it feels safe at this moment in time. The reason why is because of the tower moment and the failure. So this could be some sort of trauma that you went through via family and stuff like that. People who you've trusted the most definitely. when the Tower comes up, most definitely anyway. I'd say that for nothing. Okay, so let's see how this affects how you see yourself. Oh, hang on. There's some cards that have come out here as well. Oh, no, there isn't. This is the bloody thing. Sorry, guys. I'll just put this back. I thought that there were cards that had been spat out, and they're actually not. The cards for the bloody other two readings. Sorry, guys. So, let's see how pile ones are affected by how they see themselves. Right, so basically you'll feel like you're always on protection mode. You'll feel like you're always needing to be defensive with people, or feel like you've got to help people to understand that you are much more wiser than people might like to let on. You may find yourself, as you can see by this lady, a little bit standoffish sometimes if people try to come into your energy, if people try to speak to you with regards to what they feel the trauma has affected your life with regards to. You may find yourself being quite defensive. How do you see yourself? How does pile one see themselves since they've had this trauma? The trauma's also affected your inner knowing, which we've already found. Okay. How does this affect how pile one see themselves? Yeah, it also affects you. I said this is something to do with family, you guys. This has definitely got, your trauma has got to do with something to do with families or somebody who you trusted to be an elder towards you. Okay. This is basically saying that you find, you may have, right, a destructive technique when people come around you, you feel like you've got to protect yourself because something inside of you, which is this energy, tells you that you've got to come away from people, you've got to shed them, you've got to not allow people to be in your life for too long. This is an ancestral pattern or come from an elder or somebody around you and they had this perpetual behavior. Okay, so you see yourself in a place where you also want to move past family patterns. So if you've noticed any cyclic behaviors in your family, you're definitely trying to stop allowing these patterns to be an effect in your life, if that makes sense. But you see yourself sometimes feeling like you are so wise and like an old part of you has died. That's what I keep getting. And that you feel like you've got to protect yourself massively, bless you. Okay. How are pile ones affected by how they see themselves? See? Trickery. So whenever your heart is involved in any form of relationship, your mind starts to trick you and makes you feel like you've got to protect yourself. So these are trauma techniques of somebody that has self-destructive tendencies. So you'll find yourself sometimes going towards people, gravitating towards these people, and then sometimes coming fully away from them, but not actually being able to understand inside of yourself why. It's because you have an area of suspicion about you and something ancestral as a pattern that has followed you through, and then the trauma that has been the trauma that has happened to you hasn't helped either. It's basically helped you even more to feel like sometimes your heart tricks you. So you may find yourself getting into fast relationships or moving in fast-paced ways or going out with people that turn out to be quite obsessed with you, but in a dark way, not in a light way. So this is something that you need to honour your inner knowing when you go around these people, most definitely. But you may also find that sometimes you're quite paranoid for no reason. Well, there is a reason actually. The reason is normally because of some sort of ancestral thing that's happened. Somebody in your family that's done something that's made you feel like you can't trust yourself. Okay, so what do you need to draw upon to start healing? What do pile ones need to draw upon to start healing? What do they need to do to start healing? What do pile ones need to do to actually start their healing process? You need to show gratitude for a start, okay? You need to allow yourself to grieve the past you, and you need to meet the younger you. So when this trauma happened to you, if your mind can go back to so if you can go into the timeline of your life, think about yourself as a baby, and then think about yourself up to the age that you are now. What age or what time of your life does your mind go to as to when this trauma actually started in your life? Because you need to revisit that place in your life and then think about yourself right now and give yourself the advice that you would have given the child version of yourself, or the person that went through the trauma at the time of them going through the trauma. So it may sound weird to you, but it's almost like me thinking back in the timeline of my life. Just pretend my first memory of trauma was at 3 years old. I would go back to my face or a picture of me or some sort of memory of me when I was 3 years old, and I would be continuously thinking about that picture of myself just to make sure it comes into my mind. And then I would think about the Leriee now, the adult now, and the advice that I would give to myself to help me to move forward now, because I'm wiser now. This is why I'm asking you to give the advice to your younger self, and then apologize to your younger self for being complacent. Being complacent in not putting yourself first, in not speaking when you went through this trauma about the complacency that you put up with, in not beating yourself up for the stuff that you'd tolerated when you didn't know any better. So you need to make peace with yourself with regards to this. And the way to make peace with yourself is exactly through the task that I've said. If you find it difficult to do that, then you need to ask a healer, or go and see a healer that would be able to help you with childhood regression, so you can give yourself the advice that you need. But don't fear the fact that you was complacent in the past, because I feel like you beat yourself up quite a lot, and you don't need to be beating yourself up. What you need to do is show yourself gratitude, because you've managed to come out of this situation in one piece. But you may be also trying to distract yourself, because this is on the bottom of the deck. You may be trying to distract yourself with work. Now, this isn't a good thing, because it's a distraction technique which doesn't help you to get to the main source of the problem. So what I'm saying to you is, I want you to go back to the childhood version of yourself. If it's not childhood, teenager, whenever this was, it was still in the past, because your now is now. Even the advice I'm giving you is in the past as I'm saying it to you, okay? So I want you to go back and regress to the childhood you, or the teenage you, whatever it was, and I want you to forgive yourself for the complacency that you had perpetuated during that period of time. Then I want you to ask the childhood self of you to come back to your heart. You can do this via meditation as well if you want to do it via yourself, okay? This may make you quite emotional. Once you've managed to do this, I want you to give yourself appreciation and gratitude by doing something for yourself that helps your heart to understand that you are on the path of recovery from your trauma, rather than running away from the trauma to keep seeing the trauma again in another person, another identity, another scenario that feels like a same cyclic pattern that you've been through in the past before. Don't worry about gossips. Don't distract yourself with work, and don't be impassive, okay? Accept that you felt like there's a piece missing from you in the past. This is coming right back to you, okay? This is coming back to you, and that's your actual destiny as well, to be able to do this, which is reforming yourself, bringing you back to peace, back to center, back to yourself, which is a truly beautiful thing, okay? So that's what you need to draw upon to begin the trauma, okay? So let's see, what lessons did pile ones learn from the trauma that they went through? What lessons did pile ones go through? What lessons did they learn? What lessons did they learn from the trauma? What lessons did my pile ones go through? What lessons? What lessons did pile ones learn? What lessons did pile ones learn? You learnt to retreat when you went through anything that made you feel unsafe. You're learning to start to live your life to the fullest. So this is helping me to understand that you are in a place of wanting to heal this trauma. That's a very beautiful thing, guys. Well done. Okay. There's also a lesson that you've learned about patience. Needing to be more patient with yourself and of others around you. Not the perpetrators, but of yourself, of your friends, of the people who you may be suspicious of and always felt like it was something to do with them, when actually the fact it was something to do with your upbringing. Okay? Nurturing yourself as well. This is also something that you've learnt, that you have to put yourself first. Put yourself first. It's also strengthened your gifts. This is massive as well for you guys, because what it's probably done is it's probably opened out your abilities. So you're in a place now where you're going through spiritual awakenings. So this would help you to be able to help other people from your heart space. Okay? So that can only be a good thing, you guys. Okay? So that's the lesson that you learned from it. Okay? Let's see lastly what we get. How will life change for my pile ones if they actually do the regression that I've just suggested to them? How will their life change if pile ones do the regression? If pile ones do... That's too many. If pile ones do the regression that I'm suggesting, what will happen? If pile ones do the regression that I'm suggesting, what will happen? So this is what will happen moving forward, just in case you're wondering what will happen if you actually do the work. So when you start off, you'll feel very emotional going through the childhood regression that I've asked you to go through via meditation, okay? But what you're doing there is eliciting the moon's energy, which is the feminine energy, which is the maternal energy that will help you. As you can see, if you look, there's actually like light going from the moon down into her hands, down towards her third eye. Whether you're a male or you're a female, it makes no difference. This is speaking about your emotions feeling overwhelming, but at the same time you being able to start to see the clarity that will come out of this. So this is the past feeling. This is how you will be feeling before you go into the meditation. This is how you will be feeling after the meditation. That's amazing. Now this part of the light where the stomach is the solar plexus. This is the part of your true self. This is a part of who you actually are. You see the light coming down into her head? This is the peace of mind that she's elicited for herself. This is the orb of protection around her. This is the foundation that she's creating for herself. And this is all of the 3D things and people and situations and suggestions that she's had in the past that hasn't worked for her. This is her finding her inner peace finally for herself, her structure, her balance for herself. Okay, so that's what will come out of this. What will also come out of this, it's fucking beautiful, this. As you can see the lamb here, and then you can see the lady and her heart is outside of herself. This is you calling your younger self back towards you. As you can see, you're wearing your heart again. My heart is literally going as I'm saying this to you. So this will help you to regain your heart and move out of the primal instincts. It will give you the strength and the courage to be able to move forward. It will stop you feeling like you have to control people or what they're up to or what they're trying to do with regards to you. Okay, your life will also change with regards to grief and how you look at things that happened to you that made you feel emotional in the past. You finally get on top of your emotions rather than your emotions getting on top of you and drowning you. You are now sat on top of your emotions and putting things to bed, burying things that no longer serve you, but burying them in the proper way, in a way where you're not losing your own emotional health, in a way where you're not losing your own mental health.
your spiritual capabilities. This is you regaining yourself, which then helps you to start dancing to the beat of your own drum. This makes you super passionate. This helps you to move forward in your life creatively and also feel super, super protected. As you can see, super beautiful as well, because if you manage to do the meditation, the orange Sharpie, the orange in the background, and then when I picked up the Sharpie, I said this would affect your expression. It would affect your sexuality and stuff like that. This will start to help you with regards to all of these things. This is you actually walking into a place of actual love, finding a partnership. If you're not in a partnership, you will find a relationship that is truly meant to be a soulmate relationship. The person that you're meant to be with, you will find security, the love. This is like star-crossed lovers, lovers that are meant to be. As you can see, there is Archangel Metatron's. I can't remember what it's called, but it's that star thing. If you guys know what it's called. Is it a Merkaba? It's something like that. But if you guys basically have a look what it means, you can comment below and help me out, because I can't remember. But yeah, this is basically speaking about the healing that will proceed forward from you healing this trauma. So this is super, super beautiful. I'll see if there's any more advice. Is there anything else that pile ones need to know before I go? Any more pile ones? Any more that pile ones need to know? Beautiful. So basically, instead of being triggered by this reading, make sure that you're open to the healing information that I'm actually giving you. Don't ward it off. Don't strike it off as something that may not work for you. This is something that probably will work for you. You just need to believe it and try it. Don't just write it off. Try it. Also, be open to the healing information that will be coming from you instructing this healing situation to start coming into your life, because your heart's going to open. You're going to find yourself in a space where you're wanting to exchange energy with people who are like-minded. You'll find that you're more forgiving towards people, and you'll also find that you feel more like your true self, like a new version of yourself. So don't ignore this true version. Step into it. This is a perfect opportunity to actually be able to do that. So thank you, pile ones. Massive loves to you guys, and I hope that that reading's actually helped you in the first place. Okay, so let's move on. Let's move. Oh wow, everything's falling. Let's move on to pile twos, okay, and see what pile twos have got to say. Just 1 second. So I just have to put all these cards away. I've got so many different decks here, you guys. It's hilarious. But I like to read with different decks. I don't know if you guys like to read with different decks, but I love to do it this way. Okay, so I'll cleanse the cards as well, so you're not getting somebody else's reading. But what we're going to do is move on to yellows, okay? This is the yellow Sharpie, so this is to do with solar plexus energy, okay? This will be your momentum. This will be where you feel safe. This will be to do with your creativity. This is parental. As I've said before in pile number ones, the solar plexus is the area of your true identity as well. You should look up the solar plexus chakra, because there's a reason you've picked the yellow pen, and it will help you to move forward with regards to where you're at in your life right now and what you can do to balance that chakra as well. Because the solar plexus, you guys may not know, but the solar plexus is actually the area of the body where you actually get all of your energy from in the first place. So without the solar plexus, the rest of the chakras wouldn't even move in the momentum that they need to move in, if that makes sense. It's the power chakra of the rest of the body. And now I'm getting into teaching healing to you guys, which you don't need a lesson in bloody healing, but you know, just to help you to understand what's going on whilst I was sorting out the cards. Okay, so pile number twos, okay? How does the trauma affect your life? You guys got two cards, okay?
So let's go into those 2 cards as to how the trauma affects your life. The trauma affects your life because somewhere down the line you find that there's a lot of contradictions around you, but at the same time you'll find that you're super spiritual. You may have had a lot of dark nights of the soul. You may have found a lot of people moving contradictory ways around you. The trauma affects your life as well because it makes you super duper spiritual, but it's not heart based. And this is not an insult to you. This is something that you need to understand. There is something here that you have had a darkness that's happened. This is the reason why the person's wearing a blue vest, just to help you to understand. This person is wearing a blue vest. Now, as you can see, there's a number 8 at the top of their head, which is the sign of infinity. Right? Eternal life. I'll just go get my crystal. But this is speaking about eternal life, okay? Now, as this is speaking about eternal life, what it's saying is that there is light and dark in life, okay? That you may understand that there is light and dark in life, but what you are not doing is healing the darkness within you. You're wanting the universe to bring you some sort of light up through your vessel. Okay, but what you have to do is give the light to yourself. I'm also sorry, I'm looking at the red band around this person's wrist, which can be the signal of masculinity and trying to make yourself quite safe via business and other ventures outside of yourself. You're trying to bring an illicit light into your life. That's what I'm being told. But at the same time, there's been a lot of things that have happened around you that have made you feel quite depressed. There's something about you when you're walking as well, putting your head down rather than walking with your head up. So it's affected your confidence massively as well. It may have also made you feel like you can't meditate properly. It may have made you feel like your heart's outside of yourself, as you can see here. You may also still, the younger inner child of you is still in that place waiting for you to retrieve your soul. Oh, bless you. Right? So your trauma has stopped you being able to contemplate certain things. Your trauma has made you feel left out in the cold. It's made you feel like you've had some sort of conflicts. It's made you feel like there's cycles that are happening all the time. You may also be trying your best to heal a hell of a lot, especially with the magician. This means that you're taking matters into your own hands, and I want you to understand that you should be proud of yourself for taking these matters into your own hands, because a lot of other people would go to some therapist that doesn't have a clue on how to help you with these types of things, or could actually make these types of issues that you go through worse. But regardless, you need to have more confidence in yourself. You need to have more confidence of what you can bring to the table as a person, because you're very respected and very loved. But you may not feel that sometimes, you guys. You definitely may not feel that sometimes, okay? You may find as well the trauma has affected your life with regards to sleep. You may always want to sleep, always want to go and sleep, always want to go and rest and recuperate and feel like your energy is being taken from somewhere. It's because your energy is being taken from the trauma that you've felt, what you've been through. So trauma carries a frequency, an electromagnetic field, just the same way that happiness holds an electromagnetic field. Food holds an electromagnetic field. We ourselves as a vessel, we are all energy, okay? The energies that surrounded you as you were younger may have been a little bit dark. And this is the reason that you probably find it hard to come back to yourself. Every frequency carries something that will evoke a feeling within oneself, and your feeling is to come away from people, rest, recuperate, sleep all the time, be alone. It's shit like that, basically, that affects your life, okay? So let's see what emotions, what have you carried forward from the trauma? What have pile 2s carried forward from the trauma that they've gone through? What have pile 2s carried forward? What have they carried forward with regards to the trauma that they've been through? What have pile 2s carried forward with regards to the trauma that they've been through? Right, so what you guys have carried forward from the trauma that you've been through is the fact that you may be wanting to have monetary success. You may also be somebody that likes to be alone quite a lot and feel like you can justify that to yourself because you feel like being alone is better than being crowded around people that are not good for you, okay? The way it's affected you as well is the fact that there is devil energy, so which is an electromagnetic field again, which can be with regards to the trauma. That this is like so weird because pile one's got the same thing, okay? So whoever put you through this trauma, intentionally or non-intentionally, they have an electromagnetic field around them. Now that electromagnetic field has attached to you, which makes you feel sometimes destructive thoughts. This is the reason why the magician energy for you right now will be eliciting lower minded ancestors to communicate with you and make you feel unsafe in this world because of the trauma that you've gone through, okay? Another thing that you've brought forward is very beautiful actually, which is you wanting to make sure that your family, any children that you have, that you are going to make sure that they are safe and they're liberated and they can live a life in the way that they want to live their life. So you wanting to break generational things here by utilizing some sort of business, and you may be taking a child along with you with regards to this business, but it's about you guys being like lone rangers and pushing something out there that will help other people to feel safe and liberated in their own family situations. So this is fucking beautiful. It's showing me that you're trying to go back into an energy where you're actually helping yourself and helping other people through the traumas that they go through in their lives. So you're not somebody that sits back and looks at people and just thinks, oh God, they've got a lot of healing to do. You actually think about ways to be proactive to help people yourself. Now, this thought about protecting or helping other people that you've got, it's helped your emotions to sometimes be a little bit overwhelming. So you may find sometimes that you can handle a hell of a lot and you're absolutely fine and grounded. And then if you're triggered, it may just have you like, right, fuck this. And you'll start just saying what you want to say. Emotionally disbalanced, okay? At the same time as feeling emotionally disbalanced, there's something about you being level. So it's like in your mind goes disbalanced. It starts to feel jumbled. But out in the 3D, so what I would see of you and what other people would see of you would be of a calm demeanor, if that makes sense. Also, what I need to tell you is whatever trauma that you've gone through, you're bringing this through into something that will definitely help other people, whether this is business or collaborating with people in that type of way. But you are going to go really far. You just have to trust yourself. You also may find as well that the emotions that you carry forward are deeply resonant with friends as well. So you may have confided in some of your friends with regards to the stuff that you've gone through, and those friends may be a group of people that give you a lot of camaraderie, make you feel safe, okay? So that's the emotions that you've carried forward from the trauma, but you may find that sometimes your friends do trigger some of this trauma that makes you want to go off on your own. And a lot of you guys may have had similar upbringings of the people who, you know, have elicited this trauma. If you haven't had the same upbringings, like I said, you guys are definitely trying to break generational patterns and cyclic behaviors and emotions that you've been through, or you've seen happen in your family before, or you've seen happen in your friends before, you've seen it in the workplace, you've seen it somewhere down the line, and you want to do better. So that is a very beautiful thing, because you're turning something that was quite dark into something light, but you're still in the process of healing this, which is super, super beautiful. And I applaud you and commend you. I applaud you and I commend you. So well done to you guys, okay? So how does this affect their relationship with other people? How does it affect Pile 2's relationships with other people? How does this affect their relationship with other people? You may find it different. How does it affect their relationships with other people? Right, so what it affects your relationships. Right, what it does is it makes other people feel distant from you when you come away from them. So you may have this energy where You give your all, you give all of your emotion to people, you help them with intuitive guidance that you get for yourself sometimes. But then what I think it does to your emotions is sometimes make you feel like you're so far away from the healing, or you have unanswered questions, or you know by now you're not going to get the answers for these questions. That's what the Five of Cups is about. It's about feeling regret and feeling emotionally away from people who don't take the responsibility for harming your emotions in the first place. Okay, another thing that you've brought forward is the fact that it may have made you more blunt. It may make you cut people off quite quickly. So you give all of your all, you give your heart, everything like that. But they say something that fucks with you or your safety or makes you think, what was that all about? You're out, you're done. You go back, if you notice as well. When you're triggered by your trauma in any way, shape or form, you go back into this dark place where it re-triggers the past to you. And then you start thinking to yourself, I'm going to go back to my creativity. So you are utilizing some of the stuff that you've gone through emotionally. So you may have had family that you've had to come away from. You've had to cut this family or amount of people or friends, whoever it is, you've had to cut them off. And as you've done that, you're utilizing the pain from that to be able to help other people. And this will get you rewards in the long run, most definitely, if you keep going. What it's done is it's inspired you to want to help other people. As you can see, there's all these hands here and the spotlight is on you. So you will be entering into your regality. You guys have done a lot of you've done a lot of work with regards to your trauma. You're just in a place where you're still understanding sometimes that you can be triggered a little bit, because what's happened is you're just gaining the truths now. You may be very objective, your intuition's on. Your spirit guides want me to help you to understand that they're very, very proud of you for being proactive in your healing in the first place. They're so, so proud of you. And you're going to get to the end point with regards to your healing. So you guys are watching this with regards to healing trauma, but you need a big pat on the back for the work that you've already done. So I just want you guys to understand that I can see that you've done work. I can see that you've been doing this work. But I can also see that sometimes you still get a little bit triggered. But well done to you guys. Well done to you guys. Okay? So let's see. How does this affect? How does Pile 2's trauma affect how they see themselves? How do Pile 2s see themselves after the trauma? How does the trauma affect how Pile 2s see themselves? How does it affect how they see themselves? Oh, right. How does Pile 2s, how does the trauma affect how Pile 2s see themselves? See, again. So this is what the trauma's done, you know. It's tied itself to you. This can all be unbound though. It's quite easy to unbind as long as you know who the person is that's giving you the trauma. You've got to do like a disconnection meditation, because you've got to get rid of it in the 5D for it to trickle through to the 3D, just in case you're wondering, why does she always suggest meditations? Well, that's the reason why, right? Right, so this is how this trauma affects your electromagnetic field, right? It makes you feel like you've been rejected by somebody. This could be a father figure. It makes you feel like you've been rejected in some way, shape or form. And you're also scared of rejection. So you may find that your mother energy is quite strong, you know, like your relationship with your mum, but there's something with regards to your dad that needs to be sorted out in some way, shape or form. If it can't be sorted out, it's because it doesn't look like you're interested in sorting it out, if I'm honest with you. You look like you're disinterested, and you're more interested in working on how you can emotionally fulfill yourself with regards to feeling better from this trauma, not sitting back and thinking about the past. But yeah, there's something to do with rejection. You feel like people reject you, or you feel like you find it difficult to stay complacently in relationships, because you may also go into this place where you're also
having destruct all the time. You may find that you build firm foundations with people and then out of nowhere you fall out, or you stop speaking to them, or you come out of their life. So it's like you can't base foundations upon people because you're always scared of the rejection. You're also scared about the fact whether this person's going to pull the rug from underneath your feet, or this any situations that you go into after this trauma, and then somehow your intuition's guided you right. You get stabbed in the back somewhere down the line, and then you have to walk away feeling very emotionally unfulfilled. This is why you are now on a mission to find fulfillment, to find the treasure, to find the rainbow at the end of all of the trauma. And you're somewhere right now in between that process of the healing. This is the reason why your heart chakra is illuminated. So I would not curse the day that you went through the trauma that you went through. And I wouldn't go as far as blessing the day either. But it was definitely the start of the healing process for you guys. It's definitely been a place where it's activated your heart and made you fucking want to fight for yourself and fight for what you want in your life. And you should be very, very proud of yourself for being able to see yourself in such a positive light after everything that you've gone through in the first place. Okay, so now it's time to talk about the healing. So what do pile 2s do to start the healing? Oh, hang on. What do pile 2s need to draw upon to begin releasing this trauma? What do pile 2s need to draw upon to start releasing this trauma? What do pile 2s need to draw upon to release this karma? What do pile 2s? What do pile 2s need to draw upon to carry on healing this trauma? Right, okay. Oh, beautiful. Right, okay, so basically what you guys need to draw upon is your expansive qualities. Speaking about the things that you've gone through. Don't be silenced by the things that you've gone through. Allow yourself to be able to speak about what you've gone through. This is God putting energy. I'd say this is God actually. This is God putting energy into your body to help you to look after your children in a way that's beautiful for you, to help you to expand in your life in a way that's beautiful for you, and for you to be proud of yourself. You have all of these energies wanting to work with you to try to help you to elevate yourselves, to come into a place of forgiveness. So like I said before, this is somebody that must have been like a parental figure, or somebody that might have been quite tough with you growing up. But this is basically speaking about you trying to evoke forgiveness within your heart for these tendencies that this person in the past who give you the trauma went through. This doesn't mean that you have to go, and they may have been a family member as well. Okay? You may not, in fact, it's not even you may not. I definitely would not advise you going and forgiving them. If you want to go do that, you can go ahead and do that. But if you are watching this reading, then it's a trauma. So that means that you will be triggered, and you probably definitely don't ever want to see this person again, or place yourself voluntarily around them again. So you need to just understand that this would help you if you did the Ho'oponopono. If you went and found that, this is a technique that is on YouTube where you use the mantra of I am sorry, please forgive me, I love you. This doesn't mean that you are asking for their forgiveness. It's more asking for your forgiveness with regards to your younger self, who needs to come back to the adult version of you, right? The reason why I'm saying the younger self needs to come back to the adult version of you, because there are children around you that are watching you, that want to see how you liberate yourself. God is watching you. Whether you believe in God, or you believe in some other God, or you believe in Source, or you believe in energy or Gaia, it makes no difference. Whatever you believe in, it believes in you, and it wants to liberate you. Utilize this wisdom to expand anything that you're doing with regards to business, anything with regards to speaking on this trauma. It's very therapeutic to you, because it dissipates the shit that you've been through. It stops you feeling suspicious of other people and wondering what other people their motives are, because you are putting things out there for yourself. You're not allowing any inadequacy that you've been through to stop you from being able to propel forward. And your dissipation will happen with regards to sitting on your bum and just thinking about, why did that happen to me? You're not in that place anymore. You're in a place where you're actually renewing yourself. You're coming back to who your true self is, your self-worth, what you stand for, what you will tolerate. Also try to eat a lot of red things, tomatoes, any berries, raspberries, cherries, anything that is red. This will help with the core chakra, to help with the renewal. Okay, healing would help as well with the renewal, right? Because you guys are creating something and it's coming out of the trauma and the triggers that you've gone through. And this is spirit basically saying to you, go for it, do it, because this is going to inevitably help your self-worth. So don't look at this chair, go and sit on it. Go sit on that chair. That light's there for you to be able to help other people out of the shit that they've gone through. Do you see how you're on top of your emotions now? You're not drowning in your emotions, you're on top of them. Okay? This is when the miracles will start to happen. And this is when you will have put a death, meaning spiritual death, mental death, to the trauma that you've gone through. Rather than grieving over it, you'll be looking at this from an objective perspective. Okay, so that will help you guys to understand that part of things. That's how you guys will start the healing. Okay, so what is the lesson learned from this experience? What's the lesson for pile twos? Wow, again, look, forgiveness, forgive and forget. What lessons? What lessons are pile twos learning? What lessons are pile twos learning? That curled out there. So you can have these two. Okay. Right. So first of all, you want to choose your friends wisely, they're saying. Okay. Choose your friends wisely because they may limit you sometimes with their thoughts, desires, and what they go through. Yeah. They also want you to forgive and forget. I wouldn't go as far as forgive and forget. I feel like you start off with the process of forgiving, truly forgiving. This is when it elicits forgetting, okay? Burst out of your cocoon. Don't wonder about these ideas and downloads that you're getting with regards to business and your own desires in your life, with regards to the wisdom of the traumas, lessons that you've gone through. Burst out of your cocoon and go for it, okay? Address any sort of addictions that you've got. If you use anything as comfort barriers, you know, like alcohol, drugs, sex, I don't know, gossiping, watching the news too much. It could be anything like that, but they want you to address your addictions. This is a lesson that you've learnt out of this, okay? And also to not limit yourself from anything. Make sure that you do everything in moderation. Don't stop yourself from doing anything. Liberate yourself, okay? So if your mind basically says to you, because until you've done the healing, your mind's going to do this to you, okay? If you ever think that, oh, I want to go do a bungee jump and I'm going to do it in August, because doing it all in moderation would be doing it in August, not tomorrow. That's a little bit impulsive, right? Something inside of your mind would say, well, that parachute may not open. You may end up flat on the floor, splattered all over the place. This is your ego. This is the person who gave you the trauma, carried an electromagnetic field, and when they gave you this trauma or did this to you, they gave you those insecurities as well. And that's what you need to be breaking away from, guys, to be able to liberate yourself, most definitely. Okay, so now I've given you the advice as to what you need to do to elicit the change in your life, right? Let's see how your life will change if you do this work. How will Pile 2's life change if they do this trauma work? How will Pile 2's life change if they do this trauma work? How will, wow, you guys, okay. How will Pile 2's life change if they actually do this trauma work? How will their life change if they do this trauma work? This is a
fucking beautiful. Sorry for swearing, but I don't care. This is very, very beautiful. Pile 2 is what will come out of this if they do this trauma work. So beautiful. Right, first of all, you'll gain your logical understanding, your inner regality, your purpose, who you are. You won't be questioning things anymore. You'll know exactly who you are, right? You're becoming away from any sort of depressive thoughts, any triggers that people may be giving towards you. You will be on top of them, as I've said before, right? Your children. You'll break a generational thing, a generational cyclic pattern that could have perpetuated itself through your children. This is you banishing that and going into a space of love where you can be a mother or a father fluently and easily. Okay? Keep knocking that. What it will also do is give you a stable family environment, a marriage, a secure partnership. If you're in a partnership, it will re-secure this partnership. It will give you a place of stability, a place of solidarity, a place of feeling like you belong. This would be a community of people as well that are around you, that want to see you do well and root for you. This is spiritual, this is the godly energy actually wanting you to thrive and rooting for you to be able to thrive in the first place. What it will also do is help your relationship with regards to a mother. If it's not that, it could be a baby mother. It's going to help the relationship with that. It could also help your mothering skills or fathering skills. Regardless, this is you being very fruitful and everything that you touch turning into gold. With regards to your ideas and any sort of thoughts that you have, this is regards to a soulmate relationship. If you've been wondering if you're ever going to get a soulmate relationship, or if you are in a soulmate relationship, this is tightening that bond. This is the completion of you not loving with an agenda, not feeling scared to open up your heart. This is a soulmate relationship, truly, truly beautiful. And this is also something that will come out of you doing the trauma work. You will then become interested in understanding, okay, so doing this trauma work, there is actually rewards that come out of this. That's what the coins are about. There are rewards that come out of this. I want to continue to keep working and plowing through, and I want to keep seeing just how much I can get on top of my trauma rather than my trauma getting on top of me. So that reading is truly beautiful, you guys. Like pile 2's reading is like sick. You guys will have such a beautiful outcome if you just manage to be able to do the work, which is going to feel hard, but believe you me, you're capable of it. You guys, you need to know that you're capable of it. Look, you've even got spirit watching out for you and wanting you to do well, and they want you to be victorious. So go for it, darling. We're all rooting for you. Go for it. Okay, so massive loves to my pile number 2s. I hope that reading was okay for you. If you've got any sort of advice that you could put in the comment section for other people that have picked a card and they're going through it right now, or they're doing some form of healing, put that advice there. You'd be shocked at how many people actually see what you put and then find some sort of guidance and advice out of that for themselves, especially if you're on this journey, pile 2s, because from what I can feel, you guys are in this place where you're wanting to heal your trauma and speak about your trauma anyway. So this is a perfect place to be able to give anybody else who may be going through the same thing that you've picked in this pile, and they may need that advice from you guys. So thank you so much for trusting me, and thank you for coming, and I'll see you in another reading. Bye, guys. Right. Pile number 3s. This is to do with the heart chakra if you picked the green one. The green Sharpie. Okay. So it's pretty difficult when your heart's been through some sort of trauma. I'll tell you that for nothing, because I would prefer anything to happen to me in the physical world rather than my heart be affected. When my heart's affected, I just lose
yeah, it just makes me so sad and upset. It's very difficult to see the light past that. So I can understand with regards to the trauma of your heart being hurt, and I hope that you guys are okay. I'm rooting for you. I hope that you're rooting for yourself. In fact, I know for a fact you're rooting for yourself, or you would not have come to watch this reading. So that alone to me is super duper positive. Okay, so let's start off. How does the trauma affect your life? Okay, so pile number 3s. The trauma, this is so weird as well, because I've said to you about the heart chakra being green. Okay, now the 2 of Cups is to do with love, that's the heart chakra, and the 3 of Pentacles is to do with like collaborating with people, working with people. Okay, which is also green as well. Sorry, my nose is really blocked doing your lots thing. Right, okay, so there's stored emotions going on here as well as to why my nose is blocked, because it feels so much better now I've spoken about it. So you guys need to know that your heart has definitely been affected, and I'm sorry that your love life has been affected, you guys. I'm sorry that you're going through this. I hope that I can give you some sort of guidance that will actually help you to move forward. But yeah, your love life is definitely affected by the trauma that you've gone through, and your trust with regards to working with other people is affected as well. Let's see what else. Pile 3s. Pile 3s. How has the trauma affected Pile 3's life? 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 Wow. So basically it's put you in a failure vibration, where you feel like anything you do is failing. There's forgiveness at the bottom of the deck, just in case you were wondering. There's also patience. You may have found that it affects your patience if you're ever triggered. It also affects with regards to your fears, so it makes your fears even louder, which would probably make you harbour resentment and sometimes feel guilt for holding this resentment, and probably not know why you hold this resentment, and it puts you in a loophole then with regards to your thoughts, probably, you guys. So I'm sorry that you're going through that, but this is how the trauma has affected your life. So let's see what emotions you've carried from that trauma. Okay, what emotions have Pile 3 carried from a trauma? What emotions have Pile 3 carried from a trauma that they went through? What emotions have they carried forward with them, Pile 3s, from the trauma that they went through? Right, okay, so basically you guys might have turned into being workaholics, or went towards work dramatically after this traumatic event happened to you. Okay, with the 5 of Wands, this is speaking about you having a competitiveness, so you've carried this forward with you, where you might find that you're fighting with family a lot, or you're arguing quite a lot. No, the point is that nobody actually listens to each other. Nobody listens to each other. Everybody's just too busy speaking about how they're feeling. This is also something that has made you find it very difficult to sleep at night sometimes. Okay. You also probably find it difficult to receive any sort of messages from this person who's giving you the trauma, or receive any sort of understandings about these people, or it may make you feel that way with other people, competitive with other people. Then it puts you in a place where you start feeling mental conflict and wonder what that's all about. What it's also done emotionally is made you be very compassionate to other people and empathetic, and think about other people's needs. So the trauma has opened you guys up in some way, shape or form, but it's definitely hurt your heart and stopped you being able to sleep properly, and made you feel like you have this
fight energy within yourself, or you're noticing it with the family members or the loved ones that you have around you, or friends or associates that you have around you. But there's an air of competitiveness that you carry forward, that you notice that so much, but you notice it because of what you've been through in the past, whatever your traumatic event was that you went through. Okay, so how does this affect how pile 3s have relationships with other people? How is pile 3's relationships affected via the trauma that they've been through? How are their relationships affected? Right, so your relationships are affected with regards to like friends. Your friendships are affected. New friends that try to come into your life, or new romantic relationships get affected. Your victory with regards to the stuff that you want to do, that may feel affected sometimes. You may feel like you want to be very victorious in the stuff that you want to do in your life, but it's affected your life with regards to the victory, with regards to feeling like you can be in a emotionally and spiritually fulfilling relationship. It's affected you being able to be open to having new relationships or friends. It may have made you emotionally unavailable with regards to like any sort of peers around you as well. So it's affected your life with regards to this. It's also speaking about judgment here, which can be speaking about you being called to do this healing with regards to the trauma for a long time, but you avoiding it, if that makes sense. I feel like it makes sense to you. You already know what I'm talking about, you guys. Okay? So let's see how this affects how you see yourself. How does this affect how pile 3s see themselves? How does the trauma affect how they see themselves? How does the trauma affect how they see themselves? So you see yourself in a place of needing to be right all of the time. Okay? So it affects how you see yourself with regards to that. You also may take the other route, and because of the trauma that you've gone through, you prefer to be friends and keep the peace with everybody. On the other end of the aspect though, you may feel the need to be right all the time instead of actually being able to check yourself and understand that sometimes you are not right. So make sure that you are applying this with how it resonates to you, okay? Another way that it affects the way that you see yourself, you feel like you're older than what you actually are. You feel like you can't grow out of this trauma or situation that you've gone through as well, but you can grow through it. This wisdom that you have is internal, it's not external. You don't look old, you've just gained wisdom. Okay? The other way that it's affected the way that you see yourself is the fact that you may be quite controlling as well. You may find yourself wanting to be quite controlling. Okay? You also may find that you keep feeling like you're changing all the time. You don't know who you are. It's like, I want to know who I am. I want to know who I really, really am at the core of things without this trauma, without this shit that's gone on. I've looked at things from a higher perspective with regards to the trauma. I've come away from people with regards to the trauma. I've grown from the trauma. I've also found that I've hunted down the things that have made me feel dark with regards to my trauma. Why can't I unlock my magic that's within myself? Because intuitively you're being guided with some situations that you may find some sort of conflict. You're finding that you are not looking at it from a higher perspective, and that's what you need to see inside of yourself. How you can fly above the situation and look at it from all perspectives, from everybody's perspective, not just your own. At the same time, that perspective that you may gain may help you to make peace with what's happened, rather than carrying so much resentment, which rightfully so, if you've been through trauma, you're going to carry this resentment, so it's completely understandable. But this is just massively helpful for you in the long run. Sorry, I felt like something was flying towards me and it wasn't. It was a goddamn orb. That is hilarious. Right, okay, so let's move on. Let's see what pile 3s need to do to start releasing the trauma that they've been through. What do pile 3s need to do to start releasing the trauma that they've been through? What do pile 3s need to do to start releasing the trauma that they've been through? What do pile 3s need to do to release the trauma that they've been through? Right, so first of all, you've got to forgive. You don't have to, but it could be a good idea for you to try to forgive. Forgive yourself, right? Forgive yourself. It doesn't have to be about other people. This is more about you needing to forgive your beautiful self. Forgive your younger self for not knowing any better as well if you ended up in any sort of situation, okay? Get into your passions. Be of service to other people if that's one of your passions. If one of your passions is to start to write poetry or journal, start off with something small and move forward, and this will grow into something very beautiful, okay? Start to be more impartial. Don't get so emotionally involved if you can feel like you need answers for certain things. Just know that if you put it out into the universe, it will start to come back to you in the form of clarity, but have an impartiality about you. But be very true to yourself and how you're feeling. Make sure you speak to your friends, speak to people who you trust and love around you, okay? Another way to begin the healing process is to understand that you are gaining the knowledge and the understanding to be able to start the process of the trauma healing. You have the key to be able to open the door to start this process of recovery. Also, I look at this as a shaman blowing healing energy onto the person, which gives them the keys and the tools that they need to be able to progress forward and heal themselves in a way that would help them massively as well. So it could be wise for you guys to understand that part as well. Another thing that you need to draw upon is understanding that the past is the past. Understanding that that old part of you no longer resides with you anymore. It's not a part of who you are. So it's allowing that old version of self to die, if that makes sense, okay? Having an area of despondence with regards to people who wonder why you want to do your shadow work or understand your traumas, or also forgiving any sort of people that frankly don't, because if you can look at that woman's face, look at her face. They're wanting you to behave like this person, but look at that person's face. It's like, why would you want to do this? Why would you want to heal yourself? Make sure that you draw upon the despondence inside of yourself to be able to move forward with regards to your healing and not care about what other people are thinking, not care about whether they're going to have some sort of rejective tendencies towards you, and not care about the fact of whether they're going to try to gossip about you either, okay? Don't care about that, okay? So let's see what lessons have been learned from the experiences that pile 3s have gone through. What lessons have been learned from the experiences that pile 3s have gone through? So what you've learned is the fact that some people around you can be quite envious. You're realising that you're the same as everybody else, but you're also realising that some other people suffer with other challenges inside of their lives. Okay? You're also understanding that everybody's got their own challenges, you included. You're realising that this affected your self-esteem dramatically, and it's affected your friendships. And you also hold some guilt somewhere down the line via a friend or a relationship that you hold a lot of gratitude for because they brought you a lot of happiness, but they may not be in your life anymore. Okay? So that's another lesson that you've learned, or you was that person who was a friend to that person and they wasn't a friend to you, and this is the reason why you're going through the trauma, because the friends hurt you so much, if that makes sense. This is like a grief that's around you, and a need for somebody to express their gratitude to you, or a need for you to express your gratitude to somebody else. Okay, so let's see how life will change. How will life change for pile 3s if they do this trauma work? How will life change? Oh, they're saying not to use these now. Okay. How will life change? Wow. How will life change for my pile 3s if they do this trauma work? How will life change if pile 3s do this trauma work? Oh, this is beautiful. So basically you will be healing some sort of karmic ancestral pattern that has happened repetitively. This will bring you a peace inside of yourself. What it will mean in a peace, being able to meditate properly if you can't sleep, being able to sleep properly, stuff like that. Okay, what it will also bring into your life is this energy of you being able to take a leap of faith on yourself. The Fool energy is not carrying the past with you anymore. This is liberating yourself to move into the future. Truly, truly beautiful that, okay? The Two of Pentacles, this is speaking about you feeling like you've still got some healing to do, but also understanding that you've come such a long way. So this is you understanding that sometimes you over prioritize yourself in too many different directions, and you may need to drop something to be able to prioritize family or whatever it is to start the healing process that I've suggested with you guys. What else will come out of this is the fact that you will have a very secure, loving family environment, relationship, full with loyalty, a very God-blessed relationship, if I'm honest with you. That's what this will elicit into your life. It will also help you to be very productive with regards to work and the desires and the dreams that you want to get towards. You'll understand the power of the mind as well, the power of what happens when you actually allow yourself to feel the things that I've told you to work on, or asked you to work on, or suggested that you work on. This will also help you then with regards to business. This is when you'll start to be quite financially abundant. But what you will be doing is putting yourself away from people that... anybody that reflects an energy that's just not who you are anymore, if that makes sense. This is when you get a higher vibration. This is when you break any sort of karmic or cyclic patterns or ancestral patterns that have happened in your life, and that is actually your justice. That's your justice for you to claim. Because if you look at the picture here as well, just to help you to understand lastly, this person, look at how they see themselves. Now, look at the reflection that shines back. They're two different people. So this is when you come into unison with yourself and fully understand who you are. And not only understand who you are, be at peace with the fact of anybody's actions external to yourself will never affect your inner peace anymore. And that is a very beautiful gift to be able to give to yourself just by working on some trauma. So I hope that this helps you guys. If you've got any advice that you could leave in the comments for people that need that advice and help with regards to the stuff that they're going through in their life, don't hesitate to put it down there. I think it'd be a beautiful thing to help other people understand that yes, we all go through shit, but there is light at the end of that tunnel. So thank you for coming to watch. I hope that this helps you massively. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'm sending you all my love always. Take care and work through the traumas. You're bigger than any traumas that could be happening in your life. So take care. Bye.